Hello everybody, my name is Ensign Ricky, your YouTube resident redshirt, and this is the Lower Decks. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I plan to do a small introduction into my channel, who I am, and why I started making YouTube videos. So, without further ado, I bring to you the Ensign Hello.
This is a dangerous mission, and it's likely one of us will be killed. The landing party will consist of myself, Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, and Ensign Ricky. Ah, crap.
So, first let me start off by explaining a little bit about myself. I'm 40 years old. I'm from the Midwest, originally born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. But now, I live down here on the beach in sunny Destin, Florida. I'm a single parent to a wonderful 11-year-old. I'm a multi-instrumental musician. As you can see, I play several instruments. I'm a huge PC gamer, and a science fiction and fantasy enthusiast, space sci-fi being my favorite. As you will see, it will be heavily covered on my channel. I do love other sci-fi, and I do plan to do other videos on other sci-fi franchises. But space sci-fi, such as Star Trek and Stargate, will always have a special place in my heart. One of the main reasons I wanted to start up a YouTube channel of my own was because when I went to YouTube to search for a little information and backstory on the franchises I love, a lot of content creators out there focus only on the on-screen canon, on-screen lore, and that's fine. We all love our ships, we all love our captains, we all love our science fiction stories. But I'm sort of a bigger picture sort of person, so I want to know what went on behind the scenes as well. I want to know these people that created the show. I want to know the people that wrote it, produced it, all the production crews that made all the special effects happen. That stuff fascinates me. Many people just don't realize that what goes on behind the scenes has a huge impact on what we see on the screen. And a lot of people don't realize the extent of some of these sacrifices that these individuals made producing these shows that we love. Sure, we could all talk about the many adventures of Captain James T. Kirk, Colonel Jack O'Neill, or General Adama. But it would be a huge disservice not to mention the heroes behind the scenes that brought these franchises to life. Some of these people were beyond phenomenal, especially the people in the 60s. They were creating these special effects as they went along. Nothing like this had ever been done before. They created the special effects that we take for granted today. And that's the reason why I wanted to start this channel. Not only to give a huge courteous nod to all the on-screen canon and lore we see. I love my ships, I love my captains like everybody else, but to give a huge acknowledgement and nod to the people behind the scenes that made it happen, because they do deserve your attention, and they do deserve to be acknowledged for the work they had done. So, I will do a very detailed and in-depth critical analysis of each episode I review. I will divulge all the facts I can find about this episode, from the trivia to the people who created it, the actors, writers, and producers. I will also keep track of a statistical list that I have made up of topics that I think are worthy of keeping track of, such as the number of redshirt deaths in an episode, or the number of times a crewman breaks the UFP laws. In addition to my episodic reviews, I will also do videos on certain behind-the-scenes topics, science fiction news, and lore breakdowns. Also, hopefully in the near future here on my channel, I could start to get into other topics as well, such as PC gaming, musical discussions, or delving into fantasy fiction topics such as Dungeons & Dragons. I was a huge Dungeons & Dragons player in the days of my youth and spent many days with my friends playing D&D. But I'm also a huge fan of D&D fiction as well, especially from the Forgotten Realms, Q-Drist, or Dark Sun settings. I'm also a super fan of White Wolf, which is the company responsible for the role-playing games Vampire, Werewolf, and Mage. Please, just keep in mind that when I'm doing these breakdowns, that I intend to leave no facts unturned. I will get all the information I possibly can and present it to you in the best form possible. With that being said, most of my videos, if not all my videos, will be pretty lengthy. I am not that 10-minute YouTube guy. I repeat, I am not that 10-minute YouTube guy. But then again, I am not the type of person to compromise on quality either. So, to the best of my ability, I will present all the information and get all the facts I can. And please, if you notice that I have something wrong, or something doesn't line up right, tell me. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. And I am an ensign after all. The franchises I'm going to cover on my channel are, but not limited to, Star Trek. Star Trek is undoubtedly my favorite science fiction franchise of all time, with Deep Space Nine being my favorite science fiction series. I have been a Trekkie ever since I can remember. From fond memories of my youth with my cousins and my friends, watching episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000 and TNG, we grew up and that's what we did. I have what could be considered a sickening amount of knowledge on both Star Trek's on-screen canon and lore, as well as its complex and vibrant back history behind the scenes as well, in which I will do my very best to try and show you. I love Star Trek with all of my heart, and it is always my science fiction go-to. So, it may come to no surprise that you'll see a lot of Star Trek on my channel. Stargate. If I had to pick my second favorite sci-fi franchise of all time, the Stargate franchise would definitely be it. At just under half the episode count of Star Trek, and with 3 different shows under its belt, the Stargate universe has a huge backstory and a lot of lore. This show is a true delight for anyone willing to watch 300 episodes of this sci-fi epic. I do love this franchise deeply, and I do plan to cover a lot of this franchise on my channel. But definitely give Stargate a look. Outside of Star Trek and Stargate, it would be very hard for me to pick a third favorite sci-fi series. There's just too many good ones right now to name. So, here's a few of them that I plan to do heavily on my channel. Babylon 5. Babylon 5 is a 5-season space sci-fi epic created by J. Michael Straczynski. It revolves heavily around a group of ambassadors aboard Babylon 5, an ambassadorial space station. Even though the visuals are a little outdated for today, the story remains solid, and this show should not be overlooked. It has a very, very good story. Definitely look into Babylon 5. Battlestar Galactica. This show revolves around the survival of the human race after a devastating attack that nearly wipes humanity out. Ronald D. Moore did a great job with this reboot, and is definitely not one you should overlook. The Expanse. The show itself is currently about to be in Season 4, which is Book 4 of the novel series, and as a person who has read all the books, I eagerly await to see it all happen on the screen. Please do yourself a favor. If you have not seen The Expanse, please catch up. And to get even more insight into the story, read the books before you watch the show. It makes the whole difference. But check out The Expanse. It's amazing. The Orville. The Orville is yet another space sci-fi epic. You starting to see a pattern here? Created by Family Guy creator Seth MacFarlane and Star Trek alumni Brennan Braga. The show revolves around a crew in the 24th century aboard a medium-class exploratory vessel. As much as people say this is a love letter to Star Trek, this show has definitely cemented its own place in science fiction history. And ultimately, it's probably one of the best sci-fi shows around right now. If you love Star Trek in any caliber, then The Orville is definitely worth checking out. Firefly. Firefly is yet another space sci-fi epic, but with an overall Western theme to it. The show was created by Joss Whedon, and many thought at the time it would go far. But unfortunately, after its first season, the show was cancelled. I love and adore this show, and even though this might be the shortest of my reviews, I so sincerely wish this show got the second season it deserved. But overall, it is a great show to check out. Definitely check out Firefly. Well, that's pretty much the list for my space sci-fi shows, all except for one, Farscape, which I'm in the middle of right now. And when I complete it, then I'll start doing reviews for it. But other shows that I want to do reviews for include Orphan Black and The Blacklist. Both of these shows are great and definitely worth checking out. And both of them have a small science fiction element to it, which is the main reason I'm drawn to them. But definitely, if you get a chance, BBC, Orphan Black, this is probably their best science fiction series besides Doctor Who. I'm not a big fan of Doctor Who, but I will definitely take Orphan Black over Doctor Who any day. As well as The Blacklist, Not really super sci-fi, but you know what? The plots, the story, and some of the stuff that they do in the Blacklist is damn near borderline sci-fi, if not sci-fi. Definitely great shows. Check them both out. So, with that all being said, I really do hope you enjoy all the content I produce because I work very, very hard at it. And if you do like what I do, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the bell notification icon so you can stay informed and see new content as I release it. And if you would like to support me in what I do, thank you, and you can do so by following the links below. But until we meet again, my name is Ensign Ricky, this is The Lower Decks. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Peace.